they had a opportunity to win their last game at Illinois in regulation and lost a heartbreaker in overtime. And I thought that, I think they knew they were a good basketball team, but that performance gave them even more confidence, and probably it seemed like it united them a little bit more. And I thought their game plan was terrific. They came out with great energy, great togetherness early, and really just took it to us right to start the game. And they had so many of their guys step up and make big plays, make big shots, offensive rebounds, taking a charge, just all the things that good teams do. And this is 2 games now that I've seen them, and I've seen them do it in both games. And so it's their coach and coaching staff really have that program going in a very good direction. And so, you take your hat off to them and congratulate them. I'm incredibly disappointed in us. And when I say us, that's our staff. Obviously, it starts with me and our team. We didn't have the energy that was worthy of winning throughout the game. We didn't have the toughness and togetherness. And some of that had to do with Nicholls because of how well they played, and they're a good basketball team. But we have to have a maturity that's not there yet. And this is a great opportunity for us to learn, from this loss. And we got what we deserved.
You talk about energy or maturity. I mean, does that come through as sort of focus with the turnovers? Is that
it's everything. It's turnovers. It's gave up 19 offensive rebounds. It's not being able to execute. I mean, just all those things. But mainly the energy. The energy to play, the energy to come out and compete, the energy to just be all in right. For every possession, every right away. We didn't have that.
Where do you feel like where that lack of energy came from?
Pardon me?
Oh, sorry. Where do you feel like that lack of energy came
I don't know. I don't know if it's a hangover from the last game. We have to grow up. We're not as good as our guys maybe think we are, or we think we are, or as people have patted them on the back for a night in 2 days. They won't be getting pats today. And so it's a great lesson. It's unfortunate that you have to learn it like this, but it's a great lesson. And you would have hoped we learned it last year because of all of them. But we're still not there yet as a program, and we have to continue to grow, in that area. And that's what I mean about the maturity level.
What do you attribute some of the issues with turnovers and ball handling to, especially like the last 6 minutes?
Yeah, I thought just decision making, rushing. Sometimes it's trying to do too much. That's a little bit. That's can be a big part of it. Just all those things, not being totally connected.
When you see guys, young guys like Xavier and Trey kind of turn the ball over as much as they do, what do you tell them?
Don't turn the ball over.
It's obviously only 2 games here, Jeff, but have you noticed teams so far this season defending X and Trey differently?
Well, yeah, definitely. The attention to them, what teams are doing, ball screens, and until we change it, they're going to continue to do it. Teams are going to continue to try to do it because, it's been a recipe for forcing turnovers, and so it's something that we're going to have to make some adjustments to.
Are they playing up on them?
Well, they're pressuring, but really, it's like a heightened sense of awareness for those 2 guys when they have the ball. What teams are doing ball screens against them. Pressuring them a little bit more, trying to force them to be decision makers.
Jeff, so much of your offensive success has come when you were able to get to the lane and get fouled. You only had 6 free throws in the second half. You had them in the bonus, I think, the first 4 minutes of the game. What changed there?
I thought they made some adjustments defensively. They didn't pressure as much. They backed off a little bit. I thought they clogged the lane and really just kind of jammed in on Murph and tried to take everyone else away from driving. And so those lanes weren't there, and they just did a better job of not fouling. It wasn't like we didn't attack. They just did a better job of not fouling.
Coach, how does Ryan Murphy change the dynamic of this offense just through 2 games, what you've seen from him?
Well, I don't know how much has changed. You know, it's you know, we lost today, so it's just because he scored doesn't mean that we have, you know, we have to work on, we have to be better offensively, and that's across the board. One guy doesn't make an offense. Certainly his ability to shoot the basketball, I thought he played with passion. I thought he tried to compete today, but we need everyone doing that. And the really good offenses are when you have 5 guys playing together as one, and we haven't had that yet. And that's something we have to, you know, continue to work on and make that happen.
You know, with some of the defensive struggles today, Jeff, how much of that was maybe just one bad day, and maybe how much of that are some larger concerns you have at this point?
Well, I'm concerned. I was concerned coming into this game. I was concerned before Florida State. I'll be really concerned Tuesday. I mean, I'm concerned. You know, we have a long way to go, and I know that. You know, we won the first game, and it's almost like, you know, well, hey, we've arrived. Everything has changed. It hasn't. I understand that, but it's hard sometimes to get an 18-year-old or 19-year-old or 20, 21, 22-year-old to understand that, especially in the world that they live in, where everyone's telling them how good they are because of a win. And as much as you say, don't look at this stuff, don't believe it, don't, you know, whatever, it's going to happen. Just like I'm going to tell them, everyone's going to tell you stink right now. That's going to happen. I'm sure if they're looking at stuff, that's probably, you can't believe that either. You know, we try to talk about one voice, and that's the voice in the locker room, and that's our voice. And we have to do that. We have to grow up. That's the main thing. We have to grow up. After we beat Florida State, next day when we came back, one of the things that I talked to our team about is that we have to understand the seriousness of college basketball. And it's every day. It's not one game, it's not some time, it's every day. And the investment mentally and physically that you have to put into it. And, you know, we have to understand that. We have to learn that.
Jeff, these are obviously 2 different teams, 2 different seasons, but after you all lost, you know, I guess it's a somewhat similar game to Niagara last season. What change did you see in your team then? You know, I
don't really remember much about last year. I remember losing that game, but I don't remember much after that. I mean, I try not to live in with a rear view mirror. I try to focus on where we are right now. So I can't answer it because I honestly really have no idea.
Coach, obviously the spirits are a little down right now, but how exciting is it for you as a leader and a motivator to have this challenge that goes beyond basketball? You know, you say we got to grow up. How exciting is that?
Well, it's one of the really good things with coaching. You know, is that you have an opportunity to have an impact. You know, our profession it's hard, it's challenging, but it can be so rewarding, and it can break your heart. You go through these highs. You go through. I try to lean on now something my dad always taught me when I got into the business is that your highs aren't too high. You can't have your lows be too low. You have to kind of keep it in the middle, and that's our challenge right now. Just like it was after Florida State. You know, we have to understand who we are, and there's a fine line. You know, we aren't one of these programs yet where you can just show up and you're just going to out-talent everyone. That is not us. Like, we aren't going to just out-talent anyone. I don't care who it is we play. That's not who we are. I understand that. We have to understand that. And then we have to understand the things that we have to do that have to become a habit. And that's when you have a very strong culture. We're working to try to build that. It doesn't just happen because we put a video about some bricks or we won a game or we do this. It's not words, it's living it every day. And that's where we have to continue to grow.
All right, thank you guys.